Okay, some people would say that spending all your time at work looking at LOLcats, looking at pictures of cats with silly captions on them and then sending them to your co-workers kind of represents the decline of Western civilization as we know it. I think that's nonsense. I think going to an art gallery to look at art inspired by pictures of cats with writing on them that you sit at work looking at and then sending to your co-workers, that represents the decline of Western civilization as we know it, and that's why I'm at the LOLcat show, the LOLcat art show in San Francisco. So there.
In general, I was actually doing these before the art show. My main goal was just to bring things that people see online all the time and just put them into the daily life. But I really wanted it to be a subtle thing. Like I didn't want it to be like, hey, look at this thing. I have a half block rule where from half a block away it shouldn't stand out at all. And then when you get up closer, maybe you'll see something. And you know, the memes that I like are the ones that work even if you've never heard of the meme. You know, so the invisible bike thing is just kind of funny. You're like, oh, someone's missing an invisible bicycle. And then if there's the added joke of, you know, the little tabby in the air, then that's...
Summer, I got really sick of doing what I was doing, which is a lot of freelance and a lot of work where I just kind of wasn't really feeling the subject matter anymore. Not to say anything about the subject matter, but it wasn't making the fire, you know, gurgle inside me. So I had a little artistic therapy, and what I did is I asked myself, what makes me laugh and what makes me happy? And the answer was LOLcats. It's very obvious. It's not very sophisticated, but I know that every time I look at a LOLcat, if I'm having a bad day at work, it makes me feel a lot better. I think the fact that we need to use animals in place of people to illustrate everyday problems and topics, I think illustrates that we are uncomfortable. As people in face-to-face interactions, we fear each other, and for us, it's become a lot harder to speak frankly about topics. Oh, I love the invisible ones. In fact, I made a piece in the show. It's called Invisible, and it's up on the further wall. It's a big piece on Mylar. I raster-baited it. Raster-baiter is an online program where you can take any low-res image and make it huge by way of using halftone dots. So I raster-baited it, and then I put Mylar over it and made my piece, which is all about my favorite series, which is the Invisible series, which for me is exciting on an academic level. I know yawn, academia, but I'm really excited about the idea of interchangeability of symbols and also making a statement about something based on what there is not in it.
It's the amazing LOLcat. Well, I first fell in love with sideshow banners when I was a kid, and I went to the county fair and there was a sideshow, and you paid like your $1 to get in, and then it was an extra 50 cents to see the big gaff, and I just fell in love with the whole idea of it.
I've been a fan of LOLcats for a while. My name is Brian McDonough out of Dallas, Texas. What happened is I have a friend who frames some of my artwork when I do paintings. I do mostly animal paintings. I started about 3 years ago, seem to have a knack for it. And she knows my sense of humor and immediately said, they're having a contest, we need to do something, and sent it to me. And the first thing that popped in my head was I'd never seen a fisheye lens cat on there. And I said, I need a fisheye lens cat, and immediately Stanley Kubrick comes to mind.
Ben Ha. I'm the CEO of the company that runs LOLcats Cheeseburger, Fail Blog, and a bunch of other sites. To me, it's a very fascinating thing. It's like I'm a geek, so I love it. I love the culture of it. I love just delving into it and understanding what happens. The beauty is, because I'm on the internet, people usually don't know who I am. So they don't like come up to me on the street and be like, ah, I can have Ben's handshake. You know, it doesn't happen. So it's still rare enough where I don't feel overexposed. And I still love the content, and that's the bottom line. I enjoy what's on the site. And to me, as long as we can continue to do that, we'll do it. I like the, you know, blah 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 they said, blah blah blah, you know, that one is really one of my favorites. It's one of the more later ones actually.
And are there any that you're just tired of, or you're just like,
No, I'm not, but I like it. You know, what's happening is, if people get tired of it, it fades out, and then it comes back.
Yeah.
Like the cycle of the internet is so short, even the I Can Has ones, which there's a lot of, right? They're coming back. Invisible ones, they went away for a while, they're coming back. It's kind of odd. It was an incredible range of art. I mean, it's like the different media, the different ways of expressing, the different content in it. You know, everybody takes something different away from it, and that's what I'm learning here. God, I'm not an artist. I suck at this. You know, every time I make a LOLcat and I submit it, it gets voted down. It doesn't show up on the homepage. I've never had a single LOLcat of mine show up on my own site. So let me put it to you that way. So I'm not an artist, but I would make it big. I would make it domineering. I would make it like take over a space, because I feel like sometimes that's the mind space that it occupies in me, is that it consumes my life. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, the piece I did is called, oh god, it's either 4:57 or 4:59 a.m. Nightmare. I can't remember which one I decided on. And it is a 10-piece wood burn with acrylic paint.
Awesome.
I come from Portland, Oregon, and I was on a hike this summer, and I came across a piece of graffiti that says, the angrier we get, the funnier we must become. And so I think humor's what, I mean, if it is the end of days, will at least, you know, keep us laughing until we die.
Awesome. I'll cut out the question and just leave you talking about the end of days, and people will see this and go, must have been a crazy Christian. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The number of smiley faces you use in an email times the number of times you LOL when you didn't LOL over the number of times you used an exclamation mark when a period would have done equals the number of cats you'll own in old age. Fact. You can look that up in Wikipedia.